We can bring the fastest player in the NFL in a trade that would completely change our offense and give Jayden Daniels the explosive weapon he needs. But it doesn't stop there. Let's dive into how the decision to part ways with Cliff Kingsbury was absolutely correct, with him running out of options and proving we made the right choice by promoting David Blau. And there's more. You'll understand how our top target in the free agency market could be available for $60.4 million, a complete linebacker who would solve multiple deficiencies at once. The Washington Commanders are looking to turn the page on the unsuccessful 2025 season, and as a passionate fan, I know we need changes. They've hired new coaches for all positions and can now start focusing on how to improve the roster to return to the success they had in 2024 when we reached the NFC Finals. Washington's success heavily relies on the performance of quarterback Jayden Daniels, and the team urgently needs reinforcements for the offense. While Terry McLaurin is locked in for the foreseeable future as our anchor, the Commanders lack elite players on offense. This situation could drastically worsen if Deebo Samuel decides to leave in free agency, leaving a huge gap. With the lack of options on offense for Daniels, Bleacher Report believes the Commanders should make a big move to improve offensive performance. Tyreek Hill to Washington would be a complete transformation of our offense. A healthy Jayden Daniels in 2026 could put Washington back in playoff contention. They also have cap space to be aggressive in signing a player with a big contract, wrote Alex Ballantyne. This would allow them to pursue big names like Max Crosby and Tyreek Hill. Both may be unhappy with their current situations, but they represent significant financial obligations for any team that signs them, Ballantyne continued, and that is the reality. The injury risk factor is something we need to carefully consider. Hill obviously comes with many off-field concerns and is recovering from a serious injury in which he tore multiple knee ligaments, including the ACL, but he is still regarded as a player capable of changing the course of a game in his position spectacularly. A Super Bowl champion, 6-time Pro Bowl selection, and multiple-time All-Pro first team, Hill is widely considered one of the most explosive receivers in NFL history. He would give the Commanders a WR1A and a WR1B with McLaurin, forming an unbeatable duo. If they can absorb his astronomical contract in 2026 of $29.9 million in base salary, it would be a significant investment. Why the bet makes sense is an important question to analyze in detail. Hill would fit perfectly into Washington's offense, creating easy passes and long play opportunities for Daniels, forcing opposing defenses to play conservatively and opening up space in the middle of the field. His exceptional speed, ability to separate, and yards after the catch would be very welcome for the Commanders, who have shown deficiencies in these crucial areas. Acquiring Hill in a trade with the Miami Dolphins would require a large amount of high-level draft picks along with players, but it would make a lot of sense to elevate the aerial game immediately. And now, get ready to understand how we were absolutely right. You'll discover how the decision to part ways with Cliff Kingsbury was the correct choice, with him running out of options and proving we made the right decision by promoting David Blau to offensive coordinator. After a disastrous season that left us frustrated, the Washington Commanders wasted no time in overhauling their coaching staff. Just a year after reaching the NFC Championship and having significant success with quarterback Jayden Daniels, the Commanders decided, by mutual agreement, to part ways with offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. At the time, it was a bold decision that many severely questioned. But it seems to have been the right choice, as Kingsbury has not secured many opportunities as a coach throughout this entire offseason. Kingsbury was a widely discussed name at the start of the preseason and was interviewed for several head coaching positions, including the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans, but failed to land any of them, which validates our decision. Next, Kingsbury had to focus on offensive coordinator positions and remains without a team at this moment. His search will have to continue after the New York Giants decided to hire Matt Nagy instead of Kingsbury, who had been considered a legitimate candidate. Kingsbury was a highly talked about name for the Giants in the final days of their search, until Nagy emerged out of nowhere and assumed the role, leaving Kingsbury once again without options. There are a few vacancies left, and Kingsbury may end up losing all available opportunities unless he can reconnect with Caleb Williams in Chicago, his last real hope. Cliff Kingsbury is quickly running out of options, but one team stands out as a possibility. The domino effect continues in the NFL, with coaches being hired by other teams every day, but there are a few openings remaining. The New York Jets are still seeking an offensive coordinator, while the Seattle Seahawks and the Chicago Bears are looking for replacements after their coordinators' departures. The Seahawks would be a great destination for Kingsbury with their offensive philosophy. The Jets have shown no interest in him so far, so the opening with the Bears may be his last hope of staying in the NFL. The Bears just lost their offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle, to the Baltimore Ravens, and Kingsbury has a connection with Williams from their college days. Kingsbury was at USC in 2023 during Williams' last season as an offensive analyst. Of course, head coach Ben Johnson will be responsible for calling plays and fully commanding the offense, so Kingsbury may have to relinquish the freedom he has always had. Otherwise, he might have to return to college football, where his offensive style would thrive much more, proving that we were right to move on. And now, to close with a crucial revelation, you will understand how our main target in the free agent market might be available. A complete linebacker valued at $60.4 million that would address several deficiencies at once and transform our defense. The Washington Commanders have a lot of work ahead in this crucial offseason. Now that most of the coaching changes have been completed, the roster needs significant reinforcements, with 33 players having expiring contracts and several positions requiring urgent improvements. General Manager Adam Peters needs to be aggressive this offseason like never before. The NFL is set to implement yet another significant increase in the salary cap this year, so teams can operate with more financial flexibility. The Commanders need to retain certain players on the roster, even if it means bringing in new talent to fill gaps. One of the key targets this offseason may be available, according to recent reports from reliable sources. It's expected that linebacker Devin Lloyd will become a free agent this offseason, and that's fantastic news. The Commanders are expected to have the fifth largest salary cap space in the NFL this offseason, especially after some roster moves. They need to take one or two big bets to sign one of the best free agents on the market. One of the top options is linebacker Devin Lloyd from the Jacksonville Jaguars, who is likely to hit the market with a price tag too high for the Jaguars. Michael DeRocco from ESPN stated in an article that Lloyd has probably become financially inaccessible for the Jaguars. Linebacker Devin Lloyd is also a free agent, DeRocco says, and this information benefits us. But the estimated franchise tag of $27.5 million is very high, and he will demand a high contract as a free agent, so the Jaguars will likely pass on him, DeRocco continued. The Commanders need to be aggressive and recruit Devin Lloyd at any reasonable cost. It's no secret that the Commanders' defense needs a lot of urgent help. Hopefully, new defensive coordinator Durante Jones can make an immediate impact in his first season. However, he will need more talented players, and Lloyd fits perfectly in Jones's defense. Lloyd is a complete defender, being one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL, with 5 interceptions on the season. Lloyd is also excellent against the run, and is a more effective blitzer than one might think, with 25 recorded pressures. Jones needs a linebacker like Lloyd in his defense, someone who can do everything at a high level. Lloyd just turned 27 and is at the peak of his professional career. SpotRack currently estimates his market value at a 3-year, $60.4 million contract, and he would be worth every penny invested. The Commanders don't have a single dominant player on defense, and Lloyd would address multiple deficiencies at once. So, fan, after discovering that we can bring in Tyreek Hill, the fastest player in the NFL, for $29.9 million, even while recovering from an ACL injury, understanding that Cliff Kingsbury is out of options, proving we were right to cut him, and knowing that Devin Lloyd may be available for $60.4 million with 5 interceptions and 25 pressures on the season, which of these moves excites you the most? Do you believe we should spend $29.9 million on Tyreek Hill risking his injury recovery? Or would it be smarter to invest $60.4 million in Devin Lloyd, who is younger and addresses our worst deficiency? And more importantly, do you think Adam Peters will finally be aggressive this offseason and make at least one of these big signings? Or will we repeat the past mistakes by being too conservative and waste another season of Jayden Daniels? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think about the future of the Washington Commanders.